In this lecture, I'll start physical properties of haloalkanes. Physical properties in the first one is solubility. Solubility. Haloalkanes, haloarenes, these compounds are slightly soluble in water. Mean they are poor solubility. Why they are slightly soluble in water? Slightly soluble in water. Because when you take the haloalkanes, dissolves in water, actually it has to develop this strong hydrogen bond. Normally haloalkanes, we can see this electronegative, it is electropositive. This bond is polar. Whenever polar compounds are there, polar compounds soluble in polar solvents like water. It has to be soluble in water actually. But it is not soluble, it is slightly soluble. The reason is, when we take the haloalkanes in water, as these are not very strong hydrogen bond, they cannot able to form very strong hydrogen bonding. Because if I take the chlorine, bromine, iodine, they cannot able to form strong hydrogen bonding between them. Okay, because they are not much electronegative. So they cannot able to form the strong hydrogen bonding between them. As a weak hydrogen bonding, due to no hydrogen bonding, the energy released will be less. Okay, whenever the strong bonds are forming, suppose if we take the two molecules, whenever bond is forming between the two molecules, because of bond formation, energy will be released. Because formation of chemical bonding will be exothermic always. Okay, if you take the alcohol, water, we can see a strong hydrogen bonding between them. Due to strong hydrogen bonding, they can release more energy, so they are soluble. But here, haloalkanes and water, they cannot able to form any hydrogen bonding. So due to no hydrogen bonding between them, energy release will be less, because that is not very strong bond. So as energy release will be less, these are said to be slightly soluble in water. Okay, simple point we can say, why haloalkanes are insoluble in water? Due to absence of hydrogen bonding, due to absence of hydrogen bonding, the bond formed between haloalkanes and water not very strong. Okay, because there is no bonding between them, strong hydrogen bonding. That's why energy release will be very less. So that's why they are said to be slightly soluble in water. Next, boiling points. Boiling points, if I take this is hydrocarbons, like alkane. From hydrocarbon, this is CH3. I already told you hydrocarbons, from that after replacing one hydrogen with one halogen, we are getting haloalkane. These are haloalkanes. Haloalkanes. Compared to hydrocarbon, haloalkanes having more molecular weight due to here instead of one AH we are writing one X. Halogen we are substituting. Halogen atomic weight is more compared to hydrogen here. Among these two, which is more molecular weight containing compound? Haloalkanes. Due to more molecular weight, van der Waals forces will be increases. As magnitude of van der Waals force increases, boiling points increases. Okay, compared to hydrocarbons, haloalkanes are having more boiling points. Again, in haloalkane, there are fluoroalkanes, bromoalkane, iodoalkanes. Among the RX, which is having more boiling points. If I take the RF, RCl, fluoroalkane, bromoalkane, and iodoalkane, out of these four haloalkanes, fluoro, bromo, iodo, which will be having more boiling points? If you see, fluorine to chlorine, chlorine to bromine, bromine to iodine, atomic size increases, atomic mass also increases, mass and size both are increases. When atomic size increases, magnitude of van der Waals forces increases. Magnitude of van der Waals forces increases. Van der Waals force increases. When magnitude of van der Waals forces increases, boiling points also increases. Okay, from chlorine to iodine, atomic size increases. Due to increase in atomic size, magnitude of van der Waals force is also large, that will be increased. So boiling points will be increases. So this is low boiling point. Fluoroalkane, iodoalkanes are having more boiling point. More boiling point. Okay, and again, if I take the hydrocarbon chain length comparison, that is isomeric haloalkanes. If I take isomeric haloalkanes, suppose we have a molecule C5H11X, mean if I take the Cl, C5H11Cl, I can write CH3CH2Cl is one molecule, I write it as 1. Number 2, CH3CH2Cl. Isomers I am writing here CH3CH2Cl. Okay. Fourth one is, yes, let us take these three. Okay, if I take these three molecules, among these three, which will be having more boiling point? If you get the questions like this, we have to remember that as it is a more long chain, more surface area. When more surface area is there, magnitude of van der Waals attractions will be higher. Here, surface area comparing to this second compound, surface area decreases. Comparing to second, third one is further decreases surface area. When surface area decreases, magnitude of van der Waals forces also decreases. Okay, boiling points are directly proportional to van der Waals forces, intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces find in this are van der Waals forces. So, as more surface area, more boiling point. Less surface area, less boiling point. So, as the resultant I can write here, as branching increases, boiling points decreases in isomeric compounds, haloalkanes. Isomeric haloalkanes. Okay, so boiling point order, what we can write from these three molecules? Boiling point order for 1, 2, 3. This will be the more. Next second, because surface area decreases, here again branching further increases, boiling point will be decreases. Okay, so this is the physical property of the haloalkanes. And if I compare the haloarenes, similarly, haloarenes I have to write 3 important molecule. Haloarenes, 3 molecules we can see: orthodichlorobenzene, metadichlorobenzene, paradichlorobenzene. I am taking chlorine, you can take bromine or anything. So isomeric haloarenes, if you take, these are positional isomers. Okay, 3 positional isomers. This is ortho, this is a meta, and this is a para. Boiling points almost similar. Boiling points ortho, meta, para, almost similar boiling points. Not exactly similar boiling points will be, because among all those, van der Waals forces will be approximately same, nearly same van der Waals forces will be there. So boiling point will be same. Melting point, if you take among the ortho, meta and para, which will be having more melting point? Out of these three, this molecule is exactly symmetrical. Exactly symmetrical molecule. If we cut here, we get the 2 identical halves. So this is due to symmetrical structure. Melting point generally we find for the solid substances. When the substance in the form of solid, we find melting point. Paradichlorobenzene, the solid form, due to symmetrical structure, it exactly fit into the crystal lattice like this. It exactly, due to symmetrical structure, it exactly fit into the crystal lattice. So this type of close packing is there. Whenever close packing arrangement in the crystal lattice is there, melting point always high. So I write it here, melting point, para will be more, then ortho. Comparing to ortho and meta, comparing these two, this will be the high melting point. Why this is high melting point? Due to symmetrical structure. Due to its symmetrical structure, it exactly fit into the crystal lattice. When exactly fit into the crystal lattice, they become very close packing like this. Whenever they are very close, it requires more energy to melt them. That's why melting point will be more comparing to argon pair. Okay. So this is all the physical properties of haloalkanes and halogenes. Okay. Next, let us start the chemical properties. Chemical properties of haloalkanes. Chemical properties or chemical reactions of haloalkanes. Okay. So in haloalkanes, the major chemical reactions we have to understand here: nucleophilic substitution reactions. Nucleophilic substitution reactions. Second one is elimination reactions. Third one is reaction with metals. Fourth one is reduction. Reduction of haloalkanes. Okay, these are the major chemical properties of haloalkanes: nucleophilic substitution, elimination, reaction to metals, maybe sodium or magnesium. Okay, reduction of haloalkanes. So our main focus here, first nucleophilic substitution, which is very important. Nucleophilic substitution reactions. The name itself indicates nucleophilic substitution reactions. Okay, if I take the alkane here, haloalkane, haloalkane. Haloalkanes, I already told you the nature of CH bond. What is the nature of CH bond? This bond is a polar. Because carbon bonded to one electronegative atom, halogen. Here I already told you halogens here are fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, halogens. So these are electronegative. When halogens are electronegative, carbon becomes electropositive. So in haloalkane, carbon is electrophilic. Carbon is electrophilic. When carbon is electrophilic, which type of species is required? Nucleophilic. So nucleophile, which is electron rich. This electron rich species attack at this carbon. As soon as this electrophile attack at this carbon, this X is eliminated. And we get C nucleophilic product, and X minus E is eliminated as a leaving group. This is the product. This is leaving group. Okay. So this is one reactant. In this, carbon CH bond is a polar. Carbon is electrophile due to electronegative halogen which is bonded with carbon. A nucleophile can attack at this carbon because of this electrophilic center. As soon as nucleophilic attack at this carbon, X is eliminated as a leaving group and we get nucleophilic products. This is the basic fundamental reaction. Okay. In this nucleophilic reaction, there are so many nucleophiles you can take. Depending on the different types of nucleophile, we get different types of products. That's why in organic chemistry, nucleophilic substitution reactions are very important because we can prepare the number of functional groups containing compounds. I will write different types of reagents which will form the different types of products. Now see these reactions. Nucleophilic substitution basic reactions what? Rx, haloalkane, nucleophile, as soon as nucleophile attack here, it can form nucleophilic product. X minus is eliminated as a leaving group. All these are reagents. Out of all these reagents, we have to take the nucleophile. We need nucleophile, right, to attack at this carbon to eliminate X minus to prepare the nucleophilic product. NaOH. What is the nucleophile in NaOH? OH minus. When OH minus attack at this carbon, after eliminating X, the product is ROH. This is to be alcohol. And water. What is the nucleophile in water? H2O. Because lone pair of electrons involves in nucleophile substitution. Nucleophile means it always contain negative charge. Neutral species also nucleophile. But neutral species they must contain lone pair of electron. They are nucleophiles. Here we get same product alcohol. Next, if I take the sodium alkoxide, the reagent is OR minus and the product is ROR dash. These are said to be ethers. Sodium iodide, what is the nucleophile in this? I minus. This sodium iodide where we use in the preparation methods? I minus nucleophile will be used in the Finkelstein reaction. In Finkelstein reaction we use sodium iodide. So the product will be Ri, iodoalkane. Ammonia, what is the nucleophile? Ammonia. The lone pair of electrons on nitrogen involves the product is RNH2. This is primary amine. All these reagents and nucleophiles are present in NCERT. I am just explaining here. What is nucleophile in this? R dash NH2. R dash NH2 itself is nucleophile. The lone pair of electrons and nitrogen act as nucleophile. The product we get is RNHR. RNH2 called as primary amine. RNHR said to be secondary. If it contains 2 hydrogens of nitrogen, primary amine. If it contains 1 hydrogen of nitrogen, secondary amine. And the same, in this, the nucleophile is again same as this reagent is nucleophile. The lone pair of electrons involves nucleophile substitution. The product is R, N, R dash, R double dash. Here we don't see any hydrogens here, so it is a tertiary amine. Okay, KCN. If I take the KCN, the negative part, nucleophile is Cn minus, cyanide ion. The product is RCN, cyanides. The nucleophile in AgCN is AgCN, lone pair of electrons present on nitrogen. Okay, lone pair of electron present on nitrogen can be taken as nucleophile. But whereas here, if you observe this, Cn minus I have taken. AgCN, KCN both are Cn, but difference in the metal. Observe this. KCN, AgCN. The bond between potassium and carbon is an anic bond. When the bond is anic between the potassium and carbon, this is dissociated as K plus Cn minus. Okay, ionic bond formed between the two opposite charges. So when Cn minus is generated, that Cn will attack at this, Cn will attack at this, and the product is RCN. Like this. Rx, when Cn minus attack, the product will be RCN, cyanide CN. Then why we are not getting the same product in silver cyanide, AgCN? Here with AgCN, the bond between silver carbon is not ionic bond, this is a covalent. Covalent bond. Covalent bond is formed due to sharing of electron, not between the opposite charges. So due to sharing, this bond cannot be eliminated as Ag plus C minus. We don't get any charges like KCN in this, because this bond is a covalent bond which is formed through sharing of electron. So when negative charge is not available in the carbon, lone pair of electrons on nitrogen will attack. Like this, Rx AgCN. Lone pair of electrons and nitrogen will attack here. Nitrogen is going to attack at R. So we get RNC. Understood? Here carbon is going to attack, we are getting cyanides. Here nitrogen is going to attack, here we are getting isocyanates. The reason is this one. As the potassium carbon bond is ionic bond, it can generate the positive and negative charges. So carbon itself acts as a nucleophile. So Cn minus can attack, it can form RCN. Cyanides. Whereas silver and carbon is not ionic bond, it is a covalent bond. So it cannot generate the positive and negative charges here. So this carbon cannot attack like Cn. So lone pair of electrons and nitrogen can attack. So we are getting isocyanates. So this type of nucleophiles are said to be ambident nucleophiles. Ambident nucleophiles. Cn minus is said to be ambident nucleophile. Means the species which possess two nucleophilic centers. The species which possess two nucleophilic centers are called as ambident nucleophiles. Here it has two nucleophilic centers. Carbon can attack, nitrogen can attack. Carbon can able to attack here. Nitrogen also can able to attack here. So two nucleophilic centers, that type of species are ambident nucleophiles. So the product here is RNC, isocyanates. With KNO2, AgNO2 same. KNO2, potassium cyanide, potassium nitride. The structure of the potassium nitride is this one. Potassium nitride. Here the potassium and oxygen, potassium is strong. Why this ionic bond? Because potassium is a alkali group metal. So it is a ionic bond. So it can generate the positive and negative charge. So what is the nucleophile in this? O minus NO. So this O minus will attack here and we get RO N double bond. These are said to be alkyl nitride. We get alkyl nitride. Whereas if you take silver nitride, as I have told you, it is not alkali metal. This bond is said to what? Covalent bond. Whenever covalent bond is forming, these two species cannot form the positive and negative. There is no plus minus like this in case of potassium nitrate. It is ionic bond, it is forming positive and negative. It is a covalent bond, it cannot form positive and negative. So this oxygen cannot able to attack, but this nitrogen can attack. So Rx, when this lone pair of electron attack here, we get R. Nitrogen is bonded here. Observe this. Here oxygen is bonded to alkyl. Here nitrogen is bonded to the alkyl. So we are getting RNO. Okay. So this is said to be nitroalkane. So this type of nucleophiles, I told you, they are said to be ambident nucleophiles. Clear? Next, if I take the same, I am writing here O potassium O minus NO, whereas here silver, this species called as nucleophiles. Here we get RONO, alkyl nitride. Okay. Here the nucleophile is nitrogen. Nitrogen is going to bond here. So we are getting nitroalkane. Okay. So I read these three in the beginning. So I hope you understood this nucleophilic part. NaOH, you can take NaOH or KOH. KOH also you can take. But nucleophilic part is OH minus. When OH minus is going to attack here, ROH, we get alcohols. When what will be taken, lone pair of electrons on opposite can attack here, we get same alpha. When sodium alkoxide, this is alkoxide ion is called as nucleophile, we get ether, ROR. Sodium iodide, iodide ion is nucleophile, we are getting iodoalkenes. Ammonia, lone pair of electrons on nitrogen act as nucleophile, we get primary amine. And if I take that, this is primary amine. If I take ammonia, I am getting primary. If I take primary amine, I am getting secondary amine. Understood the point? If I take ammonia, product is primary amine. If I take primary amine as a nucleophile, we are getting secondary amine. If secondary amine will be taken as nucleophile, we are getting tertiary amine, which do not have any hydrogens or nitrogen. And these four are important. I already told you these are said to be ambident nucleophiles. Cn minus NO2 minus are said to be Cn minus NO2 minus are said to be ambident nucleophiles. Okay, here if I take KCN, I get cyanides. If I take AgCN, I get isocyanides. If I take potassium cyanide, I will get alkyl nitride. Silver nitrate if I take, I will get nitroalkanes. Is it clear now? Now I read these three here. R dash COO minus Ag. What is nucleophile in this? Nucleophilic part is R dash CO minus. If RX react with this, nucleophilic product we get. So this is a nucleophile. If this nuclear attack here, what we get? R O C double bond O R dash. This is said to be ester. RCOR is said to be ester. If I take another molecule, that is lithium aluminum hydride. Lithium aluminum hydride is actually strong reducing agent. What is negative part in this nucleophilic part? H minus. This is hydride. Hydride. If this hydride attack here, what will get the product? RH. Only H minus will attack here. This is alkanes or hydrocarbons. If I take the alkyl R1 dash M plus R1 minus I write. Here like example I write it here CH3 Cu or Li. This type of metallic alkyl metals, organometallic compounds these are. These compounds are organometallic compounds. Organic component will be there like carbon and metals also will be there. Metals always positive charge, remaining organic will be negative. So that's why I written R minus M plus. Okay? So if I remove the R1 to get confusion, R minus M plus. Here R, when this group, what is nucleophile in this? What nucleophilic part in this? R minus. When R minus is going to attack here, we get R dash. Means these are hydrocarbons. Okay, so these are the basic nucleophilic substitution reactions. Out of all these nucleophilic substitution reactions, first we have to understand all these nucleophilic substitution reactions actually we can divide into two types, SN1, SN2. Before starting the SN1 mechanism and SN2 mechanism, you should know what is nucleophile exactly, what is a leaving group, which is strong nucleophile, which is weak nucleophile, which is strong base, which is weak base, which is good leaving group, which is poor leaving group. If you understand all these points, then you can able to understand the SN1, SN2 mechanism. Okay? The next lecture, I will continue the leaving groups, basicity and nucleophilicity. What are all these terms? After explaining these terms, then we will start the SN2 and SN1 mechanism. Okay? Thanks for watching. Next lecture I will continue. Please subscribe to my channel to get instant or immediately videos after I uploading. Okay, thanks for watching.